監督が好きな雲って何ですか？
I'm on my heart now, and there's no light shining on me. Back to the start now. What do you do with the soul that's empty? Sounds emulated. I really hate it. It's getting better for now. We can't control the weather.
I don't really look up very often. I'm someone who prefers to focus on whatever is directly in front of me. Eyes straight ahead, tunnel visioning on whatever work I'm doing or show I'm watching. But there's one thing that caught my eye when I was watching Shirobako. Because when an anime about making anime draws attention to a particular mention, that's the sort of meta-textual flex that I have to verify for myself. Atsume Yuji is an in-universe art director. He's recruited to draw backgrounds for Musani Animation's upcoming adaptation of Third Aerial Girls Squad. But during the interview, Yuji flips the conversation on the director and producer. He asks them what they think of clouds and what their favorite types of clouds are. He bemoans some of the lazier artists who slap on some generic cumulonimbus during the summer without a care. Hearing this guy just start ranting about his passion for clouds made me curious. What is it about clouds that appeals to him? Because once a show calls that much attention to something like clouds, it's basically making a promise. We're going to nail this background element for the rest of the season. So how did they do? As a quick aside before I answer my own question, cloud identification can get very complex. You can roughly categorize clouds by either their altitude or their shape, but there are a ton of obscure modifiers that can fill a very long Wikipedia article. Jesus Christ. Needless to say, we won't need to go into this level of detail. We will mainly concern ourselves with altitude, shape, and colors. With that out of the way, there are a couple of strong cloud shots in Shirobako I want to acknowledge. Nimbostratus clouds give way, allowing light to peek through and providing hope to a downtrodden Shizuka, who has had a rough time in the second core. Gray rain clouds looming above Studio Titanic make it very clear, if the name isn't blatant enough for you, that Aoi's efforts to outsource work to them will encounter stormy waters. Orange cumulo and strato type clouds usher in a sense of whimsy and freedom to the beautifully warm depiction of director Kinoshita soaring through the air. But everything else seems appropriate at best. A good mix of cirrus and cumulo type clouds to give some textural but gentle variety in the sky. I think Yuji would give these shots a passing grade at best. So while I'd love to make the cinematography of Shirobako, I think we need to look elsewhere for engaging cloud cinematography. Because ever since I heard this quote from Yuji, it echoes in my head whenever I see a particularly pronounced cloud. One of which came from Make-in Too Many Losing Heroines standout first episode. The show literally starts with the fade in from black to warmly colored clouds as our protagonist Nukumizu opines about what it must be like to experience romance. The episode concludes with the meeting between himself and Anna on the school rooftop. Though Anna puts on a brave face after giving up on her crush at the start of the episode, her emotions finally crack through and the tears come. In this emotional nadir, Make-in does a wonderful job contrasting her against a huge cumulonimbus cloud in the backdrop to diminish her. That pesky cloud is always in sight, given equal if not greater weight than Anna in the frame as she laments her failure. It towers over her, it lines up with the rule of thirds, and it faces us when Anna does not. Even when the camera points towards Anna straight on, she is backlit, shadowing her appearance to match her mood. As the first thing we see in this show, the clouds represent that elusive feeling of being in love and having your affections returned. What is normally depicted as a symbol of summer and happiness is twisted to something Anna cannot achieve. Artists like Peter Balk and Hiroshi Yoshida have depicted clouds as elements that overwhelm their land counterparts and impress upon viewers a sense of monumentality only found at the end of the world. The compositions in this scene subdue Anna in the same way, refusing to yield the frame to her. But gradually, Nukumizu manages to tease out her playfulness and general optimism. And as Anna makes her recovery, she reclaims the focus of the camera, pushing that cumulonimbus cloud behind her. Anna may be a losing heroine, but it is not the end of the world. In our next example, we turn to one of the most iconic films in anime history, Your Name. The climactic meeting between leads Taki and Mitsuha occurs on top of mountains neighboring Mitsuha's hometown, Itomori. As the two race around the edges of a crater, they are surrounded by low-altitude stratocumulus clouds that conceal everything aside from Lake Itomori. The cloud layer really emphasizes the isolation and intimacy of this moment between the characters. Nothing else from the movie matters in this moment. The pink tinge on the clouds also matches the romantic tone of their conversation as the two flirt with and tease one another. Close-ups and framing continually emphasize the characters as the main subjects over the cloud layer, a departure from how the column cloud overtook Anna in Makein. But upon the duo separating, the camera pulls out and the sheer scale of the crater and clouds diminish the characters once again. At a more thematic level, this scene reminds me of Caspar David Friedrich's The Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog. Though the clouds in this painting are high-altitude cirrus-type clouds, both Friedrich's painting and Your Name are able to convey the sense of triumph over nature. The Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog is often associated with 19th century Romanticism, which praises individualism and the sublime. Just as the unknown subject of the painting stands atop the mountain and looms over the seemingly unreachable clouds, Taki and Mitsuha have defied space and time to rendezvous on this crater well above everything in their lives. They are continually placed above these clouds to celebrate their dominance over the mysterious time phenomena that started this entire journey. Later, they will rewrite fate itself to turn their illogical meeting into a successful romance. By framing the clouds below our leads, this moment truly feels like an impossible accomplishment and celebrates the one-of-a-kind nature of their meeting. This scene is a perfect encapsulation on how low-altitude clouds can go both ways. Underpinning the achievement of the fated encounter between Taki and Mitsuha, or zooming out and overwhelming our leads when they are separated once more. Lastly, we have some very interesting skyscapes from Sorairo Utility earlier this year. Our protagonist, Minami, is pretty airheaded and often has her head in the clouds because of how aimless she feels outside of her video games. This characteristic is visually expressed in shots where she's staring intently at cumulus-type clouds. She doesn't quite know what to do now that she's become a high schooler, but stumbles upon golf. And while she doesn't quite have the secret talent for golf that she had initially hoped, she still latches on because it presents to her a genuine feeling of accomplishment. Golf is difficult to pick up, and the adrenaline rush she receives is reflected not by a new type of cloud, but by the absence of clouds. These climactic moments where Minami nails her form or hits a successful long shot are punctuated by the ball soaring in empty blue skies. It's like the fog of aimlessness has lifted and Minami's passion shines through those clouds of inertia. This negative space and incredibly saturated blue color evoke a sharp sense of clarity and fulfillment. This feeling is what Minami has been longing for all this time. What always strikes me about the backgrounds in Sorairo Utility is how low these cirrus clouds are. Despite being high-altitude clouds, they are often depicted in the lower portion of the sky. There's so much negative space just hanging out there. It's not something you often see in landscape art, but there is a very explicitly comparable work known as The Sky Above Clouds 4 by Georgia O'Keeffe. This painting is inspired by O'Keeffe's perspective while flying on a plane, where she was excited by the view above the highest of clouds. We normally expect clouds to be the pinnacle of the skyscape, but this painting recontextualizes the cloud layer as the landscape to demonstrate the wonder of going even further above what we thought was possible. In the same way, the highs of golf for Minami are portrayed through the seemingly endless height of a clear blue sky. Golf is a new frontier for Minami, just as flying was for O'Keeffe. The final episode presents an unequivocal inverse of this relationship. Minami finally hits par and expects to feel elation, but when she turns around to celebrate with her friends, we cut to Minami surrounded by cirrus clouds. She remembers she is golfing alone today, and that feeling of happiness turns into loneliness. Minami discovers her favorite parts of golf are the friends she made along the way, and those feelings lie in the sky above the clouds. When Yuji speaks about clouds, he suggests that there's more applications and thoughts that can go into cloud selection than Aoi, Kinoshita, or we initially thought. These three anime demonstrate that there's more to clouds than huge columns or gray storms that only reflect the character's emotions. As Yuji notes, symbolism is fine and all, but there's so much more depth to cloud design like framing and typing that can leave a stronger impression. And reading what historians and artists have said about these other famous paintings featuring clouds showed that he was right to believe in the potential of these balls of condensation. It goes to show that every cloud really does have a silver, cinematic lining.